The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome everybody to another special edition of the Power Trading Hour, because every edition is special. At least I think so. Today is December 19th, 2012, and it's another episode of the Power Trading Hour from the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. Just a few things to think about before we get into the markets here a little bit, and that is the Titanic opened in theaters today in 1997. I remember my time, I was a vendor selling animation equipment, and we had about 40 of our products in the Queen Mary 2. If you've ever been to Long Beach, they rented out the convention hall. They had it's kind of a, I'd call it a barge. It's like a 1/10 scale barge of the Titanic, and with full-sized hallways in it that were all mocked up with hydraulics, and they could drop it into the water and bring the water and splash the water down the halls, do all kinds of stuff in it. Apparently very little, if any, of that stuff worked. Thank God I wasn't on that part, but they had about 40 some odd animators working on the project, and off and on I spent about 8 weeks over the project. You know, a lot of people don't know that movie, they yanked the financing for it about 3/4 of the way through and said they weren't going to give any more money for it. James Cameron took all his money and said, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it from you right now for all the money you've got in it, and everybody was glad to get out of it. Of course, he stuck his, whatever it was, $200 million, his entire fortune into the movie, and a little bit more. He spent about $100 million more of his own money to finish the thing up. And suddenly, a couple years later, he had $1.5 billion. So it was rather interesting as an event. I didn't, I wasn't in talking to the actors or anything like that. It was all a lot of post-production animation, special effects that the guys were working on. But it worked out fairly well. And spent a lot of time in the Winston Churchill bar having some Bass Ale, if anybody's ever been there. Interesting thing, if you've never been there, is I think it was right about that same time, maybe it was a little earlier, they had tons and tons of glass piled up for the windows that went down the side of the walkways on the top deck. And I think Disney had just bought it, or they were just getting ready to buy it. And someone went and measured one window and ordered all the glass, probably, I don't know, a couple hundred pieces of glass on each side of the ship, and only to find out that not two of the windows were the exact same size. So someone probably got fired over that deal. But boats tend to be, at least in that time frame, were kind of bowed on the bottom, and that made everything kind of look banana-ish. If you stand back far enough, you can kind of get the effect, but it's rather minor, but kind of interesting. Also, this day in 1972, Apollo 17 splashed down in the Pacific, and the end of us going to the moon, at least probably in my lifetime, has been over. Maybe we'll see somebody actually get to the moon before I die again. But right now I'm not betting on Americans. We've been there, and everybody thinks that we've learned everything that we can. So other than putting telescopes in orbit and a few RVs going around Mars, don't have a real coherent plan for the future yet. And if anybody ever comes down to the what's called, used to be known as the Space Coast, they now call it the Ghost Coast over on the opposite side of Florida. And that's because there's nobody there and everybody's out of work. And about 1 in 4 businesses is now still in business, but the end of the space shuttle pretty much put about 3/4 of the people out of work over there. Certainly can get some cheap property. Of course, nothing is open and everybody's out of work. So I don't know if you'd want to be in a place like that unless maybe we get back into that business yet again. You know, I saw some articles out there that actually made me a little leery. And through 6,000 years of history, we've shown that socialism has always failed. And you continue to look at it, kind of just that we've had these arguments before, both on air on this show and as a nation. But kind of interestingly enough, France is setting up its death panels, what they're calling accelerating the coming of death for patients. I just don't understand why anybody ever believes socialism has ever worked. It doesn't. You know, just again, we see what happens when everybody decides that it's everybody else's job to work. The first people that actually came here, the Pilgrims, setting up Plymouth Rock and coming over here, all decided that they were going to have a great socialist, I can't even say it, socialist experiment. And that's why the Indians had to feed them, because they almost starved. Anyway, I continue to recommend a book called I'm trying to remember the name of it. It is The Politically Incorrect Guide to Socialism. But I will always short socialism because I've known that believing in it is a disease, since every time someone's tried it, it has never worked. We were actually looking at maybe getting a fiscal deal. A lot of people said that we were going to get one. Now we're not going to get one. It's kind of a strange thing. I have never believed we were going to get one. I don't think it's in the interest of most of the people in Washington to get a deal. I'm betting that we won't. I don't know when that realization is going to come, but I continue to short stocks, and we'll be more than happy to wait and hold stock short through at least the beginning part of the year, I think. Pretty much being pretty sure that we will not have any kind of fiscal cliff deal. When we have Bonner actually adopting Pelosi's plan, only to have her run away like Lucy picking up the football every time. What was his name? What is it? Now I'm going to go nuts here thinking of Lucy and somebody in the den said, tell us what you really think about socialism. But what's the guy's name? Now I'm going to have to think about it. It was in Peanuts. Lucy would always hold the ball, and the star of the series would come up and try to kick it. She'd pull it away every time. No, it wasn't Lionel. Charlie Brown, that's what it was. Charlie Brown would always try to kick the football and pull it away. But that's pretty much what's happened today. Although a lot of people are not talking about it, I still think that there's little or if any reason for them to do it. I think there's only one way that Bonner would ever get a deal. And I was watching a TV show, I think it was probably 6 months ago. It's called Suits. It's about a bunch of lawyers always coming up with some kind of new angle. It's kind of interesting. It's a little bit of soap opera, too much for me, but I still kind of like it. But what you find out is that one of the guys was talking, there's only one way to win when someone's got a gun to your head, and that's show them that you're wearing an explosive vest on it with a dead man switch. And that's basically, I think, the only way we're going to get a deal, if we were to ever get a deal. That is that someone is going to have to actually go to mutual assured destruction on this. And unfortunately, we haven't gone that far. And until we do, until Bonner actually just says, up yours, walks away, I don't think we're ever going to get a deal. The more he tries to make a deal, the more Lucy will pick the football up and run away with it every time he tries to kick it. But I'm betting on no deal, not deal. If you ever watched that show, Deal or No Deal. Oracle earnings on a per-share basis were 64 cents, 3 cents above the consensus of 61 cents. Sales were $9.11 billion, beating the consensus estimate of $9.03 billion. Probably the most interesting thing when I went through Oracle's earnings this morning was that they bought Sun out. And since they have, the hardware sales are off by 40% since they bought them. It looks like they've been continuing to go lower and lower. And I think that they probably made a decent deal already. They got control of several of the key pieces of the internet, basically control of Java, some of the other stuff. I don't know if they're really thinking that Sun would really work out as a hardware play for them. They are still actually selling that hardware. But if there was one thing that would make me think that Oracle had a coming problem, is continuing to see that business, RCL, see that business deteriorate. Oracle's trading up at $34.07. A pretty good stock, and probably one of the best CEOs in America. He has one overriding rule, and that is it's not that just we win, but the other people must lose. If there was a chief disciple of The Art of War by, I think it's Sun Tzu, then it would be Larry Ellison. And he continues to do a very good job of taunting his critics. And probably the most interesting part was that the former CEO of HP was actually talking a lot about what was going on. And kind of interesting that someone that they threw away to the side, and it's really unclear of whether he did what everybody said he did, but they were quick to throw him under the bus because, of course, they're all politically correct out there in California. That gentleman held most of the conference call was kind of interesting, and just how much power has gone into his hands. But they may have gotten the best and the brightest from HP for a song, and he's always good at making a deal. But of course, he's got one of his chief competitors that knows everything about HP as his right-hand man. Probably not a bad deal out there. Larry Ellison's always been one of the smartest guys out there. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about FedEx and what's going on. They kind of struggled this month, but they've been doing well today, or at least decent when I saw the first tick this morning. We'll have to check in and see how they're doing now. Be back in just a minute.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Just checking to see if anything new's going on. FedEx second quarter profit fell 11.9% as the Memphis-based shipping giant struggled with lower demand for its express services. And they're saying due to Hurricane Sandy, their conference call was actually fairly positive, and they're up about 2.5% at, what do we got, 94.55. So they continue to do okay. But kind of interesting to see stock go up on what were probably disappointing earnings, but I think everybody's giving them a pass because there's about 2 weeks that it was hard to get anything out or in or out of the Northeast in this last quarter. What else do we have going on? Let's see what else. Gas prices again are $2.99 on our continuing gas wars down here in Clearwater, Florida. So not a lot to report, although crude was up fairly strongly this morning on higher, actually a drawdown from the EIA numbers. Actually, crude's up fairly good, $89.58, up $1.69, $1.65 it looks like. Samsung, a couple days ago, of course, I think it was a Monday when I was gone yesterday, a U.S. judge on Monday denied Apple's request for a ban on the sale of some of Samsung Electric's products in the U.S. market, tempering Apple sweep with the California court case this summer. Of course, they won that big one. Everybody jumped up and down. Apple went up $20. We continue to see that ruling kind of come apart after we found a lot of things. One strange thing was the head juror had a huge amount of misconduct, and she basically gave the jury a pass on that. probably thinking that they're going to get a retrial no matter what. See if she couldn't do anything to make sure that these two just make a deal, because this is the kind of thing that can go on 10 or 15 years. But I think on appeal, she will be overturned. It was pretty horrible misconduct by the jury foreman. He's not supposed to talk about his experiences in his own patent lawsuits that he had going on. And he acted as an expert witness in the jury room, not listening to the testimony, but offering his own. And it basically came off on Bloomberg and talked for about 15 minutes of everything he knew and how he told everybody everything. So there's no real mystery to the fact that he did exactly what the judge told him not to. Kind of disappointing. GM, of course, today announced that they're going to have most of the stock, I believe, that the government has, and they're going to buy back a lot of it. Government's going to try to sell the rest. Would the stock be anywhere close to where it is now if the government wasn't pushing again subprime loans? It wouldn't be. It'd still be about $20. We still see a huge and approaching 50% of the sales, at least in leases, being subprime loans, where normally the people getting and buying these cars would not be able to actually afford them if it was based on market conditions and not the government getting involved. So still kind of interesting. I think that after this dog and pony show's over, we'll probably see, it looks to me like GM wants to probably go back to about $20. This is an engineered deal to push some more paper out into the marketplace. No different than when everybody else pushes paper into the marketplace. There is a reason, but they're trying to get out of that now. That's pretty much it for this news. Probably the only other thing that did come out during the day is Kodak is going to be selling their patents for a little over $500 million on digital image sharing and manipulation. The one thing Kodak did do was come out and get into that business early on. They have a fair amount of patents, and they're selling it to a consortium. That consortium is kind of hard to tell who's in it and who's not in it, but it looks like a handful of the bigger companies are going to be in those patents and patent consortium. Of course, having a big patent portfolio is just good to keep people from getting into the business and warding off new competitors. We'll be back in just a minute. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. We'll be talking about stocks pretty much for the rest of the show. 877-927-6648. Please give me a call. But I remain bearish out here. We'll talk about a little bit about that when we get back.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Am I on there? I am. Just crossing the wire is eBay is talking about stopping advertising inside mobile apps. They're basically saying the same thing a lot of people said about Facebook, and that is that people didn't like it and just wasn't making them any money. Of course, we found out earlier this fall that Google was having problems with mobile advertising. They get only about 25 cents off of a mobile ad to 45 cents off a desktop ad because the amount of entries and size and listings that they provide can't be anywhere close to the ones that they provide on a smaller screen. That's going to continue to be the bugaboo for a lot of these companies coming out over the next couple of months as they move from a strict desktop world to a mobile world. But I don't know if it actually making any difference in Facebook. Take a quick look at them. It's off 32 cents on a day. We really haven't talked much about the movement of the market. I'm waiting for a fairly decent pullback in this market. We're off during the break about 6 points. 6 points on the S&P. 1440.7 on the S&P cash. 2.55 billion shares. So we're doing pretty good. We're probably going to have close to what we had yesterday in the pop-up. I continue to think we're going to close somewhere around 1400, 1410 on the S&P cash on Friday. The longer we go into the next 2 days without any budget deal, the more the realization is that there won't be a deal before Christmas. And I'm pretty much betting that there won't be a deal into January. If they do something, it'll be a kick the can, only putting off the inevitable. That is that you will not have about 120 Tea Party type Republicans in the House ever vote to add next couple of years, another $20,000 debt to everybody, to every home in America. And when you really think that only about half the homes in America actually pay taxes, what you're really saying is you're adding about $40,000 to the debt that every household will owe in the next couple of years. So if we don't get our spending under control in a real hurry, we are digging a debt prison for our children for the foreseeable future. And that's spending a little more than a $1.1 trillion more than we take in every year. And see if there's anything else going on here. I wanted to look at the NASDAQ real quickly before we get into that. And for movers out here, ISRG, which is Intuitive Surgical's off about 6%. ISRG. Wanted to take a look and see how they did. This thing took off with some nice volume back on the 16th and 17th of October, pretty much closing all that back, and with some fairly strong volume on Intuitive Surgical. Haven't had a chance to find out. Didn't really see anything in the news. Surging with fundamental support. Probably something out here in the news about why they are doing that. Mako is another company like them that hasn't been doing well. Let's go ahead and check them out real quick. Mako actually might be making a low out here. I know we had some phone calls over the last couple of months on Mako. This one actually is getting to the point where it would be fairly buyable. It needs to be test $11.99 once again, 2.7 million shares on August 1st. And it got within about 27 cents of that on December 18th. But one more trip down there, a close, or at least a thrust below it with a close back above it with very light volume, would pretty much set up a nice, maybe a buying opportunity on Mako. ISRG certainly looks like it could go a little lower here on blowing apart today. I'm sure there's probably some news. I just don't see it here. Maybe. Yeah, don't see anything out here that speaks why ISRG is blowing up. Let's see if we've got what else we have out here. Apollo, of course, the perennial stock that is eventually going out of business one day, off of 5.5% APOL for for-profit education. Looks like it's just doesn't quite know it's dead yet. Try to see if there's anything else out here really moving. Let's look to the positive side. Oracle, of course, the strongest of the IndexX 100 today, up 4%. We talked about that. VeriSign up 3.3%. Let's see, and that is VRSN. Let's see if it's making any kind of signal. This thing's pretty much finishing a pretty horrible gap down. Well, this might actually be the next leg to take down on a short. It's filled about half the gap. That gap came on the 30th of November on 45 million shares. To come back and fill that gap about halfway. That's probably about all you should expect out of this thing. Maybe 50 cents or $1 higher before you start at least working on coming back and testing that high volume low, $32.81 on November 30th. Let's see if we have anything else. STX is up strongly. STX, which is Seagate. And what do we have on it? And actually not a bad looking chart. Coming back and testing its last minor high on November 6th, $30.35 with 9.8 million shares. Looks like we're going to exceed that today. It looks like this thing wants to come back up around that $32 level. Let's see what else we have going on here. Baidu, just a dead cat bounce. Checkpoint, CHKP. And what do we have on that? Well, this thing's getting awful close. It hadn't quite tested. Checkpoint looks like it's trying to get into the previous high of September 14th, $49.32, 5.2 million shares. You got about 1.5 million shares today. You're into that candle, so that may be everything you get. Another one of these patterns that I've been going through and beating up on for the last few weeks, and that is these high volume blowout days only to come back and fill the gap. This one's filled the gap and a little bit more out here, but that high volume down day came down on 17.5 million shares on the 17th of October. You kind of went sideways, came up here, but it looks like you're probably going to get about everything you're going to get at a checkpoint here. If you haven't sold already, I would say that it is an excellent sell signal if you bought it anywhere lower. This is probably the time to think about going ahead and clicking the sell button. Let's see if we have anything else here that checkpoint. Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, another one of the same thing. Akamai, AKAM. AKAM. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Been watching this one for a while. It's coming up and hitting a gap that's extended for a while, and looks like it's going to try to get back into at least $41.25. And I guess it went through that today here. 2.7 million shares. Let's see what we have. Yeah, 2.7. So it's going to be light as it approaches the big gap down day that it had. But I think maybe you could still see this thing move just a little higher. You probably love to get it in that gap. That gap came from February 10th, where it came down on 42,300,000 shares. And looks like that's going to be probably the a extremely strong resistance level, just a few bucks out of here. It's been kind of a nice little move down, filled up almost all of the downside on this, but this is probably getting awfully rich in that higher level. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Love to take your call. We're going to look at a few other stocks out here. One that's starting to give kind of a little signal out here. Needs just a little higher. Zimmer Holdings. Been watching this one. It is just shy of the May 11th high at $96.93, 3.1 million shares. And what do we have in that? It's about 90 cents short of that, 85 cents short of that right now. So it might be a good idea to keep an eye on this for the next couple of days. Right now, 1.1 million shares yesterday, 800,000 shares today, and you need 3.1 million shares. This being a lighter and lighter volume trend out here, we've got to probably expect that a lot of these things have topped, at least for the next couple of weeks. We've got, let's see if there's anything else here. I wanted to see how Xilinx has done. This pattern out here. It is breaking above the last minor high from September 14th that had 4.4 million shares, $35.81. Last couple of days we've had 2.8 million shares coming into it with 1.9 right now. So let's figure this thing comes in at 2.2 or 2.5 million shares. That's going to still be way late of the September 14th high. It could possibly get up to $37.04 if it attacks the next high. That next high has 7 million shares. So, we have kind of broken through that a little bit. It might try to get up into those upper candles, but going to need a lot more strength. This certainly is setting up, as I think that SMHs are fairly weak out here for the beginning part of the year. Let's go ahead and take a little long. And we are trying to break through kind of a previous high out here on 9/14 with 2.2 million shares. And could it get back up to 33.96 if the fiscal cliff was solved? Yeah, maybe. But right now I'm going to say that 33.30 is probably fairly decent for the high out here. The industrials selects sector Spider. It is also going over a previous high. on lighter volume, $38.17 on March 15th, with 20 million shares. What do we have the last couple of days out here? 11.5 million shares. And today, but it's probably not correct. But let's see if I can get a current quote that's accurate here for volume. XLI. Let's see. Yeah, it's 11 million shares. So we continue to see kind of light volume compared to that March 15th high. Let's see. Take a little longer look at this thing. You have one more high you could get to, but you know, you got one on July 7th of 2011 had 27 million shares. You got the one that it's attacking here with 17 million shares, 20 million shares on March 15th. I'm going to say 20 million shares is probably a fairly decent number to get this thing any higher than that 38, 39 probably level fairly soon. XLF, the financials out here, saw kind of a nice little hit on those yesterday, nice little pop, and had better volume. I wouldn't say spectacular volume. You needed everything above $16.01 out here to have more than 110 million shares. Got into it with about 70 million shares. Let me see if we can actually bring this down to 1 year, get a little bit better view of it here. On September 14th, he had 120 million shares. He came into it 57 million shares on October 18th. And, you know, what we have out here, 70 million shares and 69 million, and going to be light today, too. So doesn't look like we have a lot of strength in the XLF. Could they hang out to the end of the year? Yeah, I'm not expecting much movement above what we have out here today. The Spider Select sector, energy sector, another one that's kind of just filled the gap out here today. It gapped down on the October 23rd. Not monstrous volume, but it has come back and filled that gap. And probably would see maybe something else going on. Emerging Markets ETF, the what is it, the VWO, another one that's kind of breaking out here. Slightly lighter volume. We've got a nice little doji out here. What you wouldn't want to see is these things, especially the foreign markets, start pulling back tomorrow in the emerging markets. You had the September 14th high at $43.69 with 28 million shares, and you know we've been light of that over the last couple of days. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Oh, we're going to break here. So we will be back in just one moment. Give me a call, and then we're going to talk about what this is the last day of. I wonder if our engineer knows what today is the last day of. Does he?
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
We're going to look at a few more stocks out here, but we were looking at the European ETFs. This one looks like it's got a couple of signals out here. The one that really interests me in the VGK out here is this September 14th high again, $48.90. 6.2 million shares, had a nice little doji there, gave you the top was in, and we're right back into that. Closed lower than higher today, but probably would need a nice close below that on the at least the low of 914, which was 48.38 to confirm. But you know, he had some decent volume yesterday. We'll find out what it over the next couple of days. But I still see a lot of these stocks going up against a lot of overhead resistance in the next couple of days. When we talk about the next couple of days, today is the last day for your Tiger Dollar promotion. If you haven't already, go to the front page of TFNN.com and sign up for your Tiger Dollars if you wanted to get either one of my newsletters or maybe the other contributors on TFNN. You could always go to the front page of TFNN and sign up for those Tiger Dollars, an easy way to stretch your dollars here at TFNN. They never expire and they are transferable. And you know, you can continue to experience a lot of the newsletters we have and the items, and we'll have some new stuff coming for you in the way of software in the next couple of weeks or so. So probably not a bad time to actually go and sign up. And, of course, we're going to give a little bit of money to the Salvation Army. You'll get a letter and the tax deduction for that, too. So stretch your money, give a little money to the Salvation Army, and wet their beaks. So just remember that before you go to sleep tonight. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll turn on the radio in the car, or flip a light switch. Maybe it'll turn on the water. Maybe it's hot, maybe it's cold. And you'll remember, I need to sign up for those Tiger Dollars now. I know everybody always waits till the last minute. It's the last minute. Go sign up for those Tiger Dollars now, and get a Path of Least Resistance subscription, or maybe the Technology Insider for next year. So what else we have going on? SodaStream, another one of these stocks, got kind of blown apart, and it's back up against fairly significant resistance out here today. You can look at just a huge volume down day that started this whole thing on 229, leap day this year, and that set up a gap that's pretty much starts a little bit over $44. Last time we got up there, you tried on 5.8 million shares. Again, that's coming down against 13.2 million shares. SKM Telecom is another stock up here on fairly light volume, at least 50% of the previous high. This thing kind of bounces around a little bit. I think must be a foreign company. Raytheon Electronics making a nice little W pattern out here at the highs. And it looks like it's probably going to close below those highs. It was attacking 1.7 million high from September 13th, $58.68. Got above it, it's closing below it. It is doing it on lighter volume, so you have if you are along that, you have a valid sell signal in it. Packaging Corporation of America, which is one of the ones I am watching here pretty much hourly. PKG is one that's up at these highs, but they make packaging for all kinds of products. And if people aren't adding a lot of those out here, you got to keep a close eye on it. PKG, up here going against 2.7 million shares doesn't give a lot of belief that there's a lot more to any rally out here. Keep an eye on that next couple of days. We will see you tomorrow. Hang on for Ken and Tom to wrap up our programming day, our programming day. See you all later.